When facing non-payment as a subcontractor, firstly, file a lien on the homeowner's property. Contact an experienced construction lien attorney to draft and file a lien notice on the homeowner's property. Include all unpaid invoices and a description of the work performed. Secondly, communicate with the homeowner. Reach out to the homeowner and explain the situation. Emphasize that you completed your work and are entitled to payment. Request that the homeowner pay you directly or work with you to resolve the issue. Thirdly, consider mediation or arbitration. If direct communication does not resolve the matter, consider mediation or arbitration. These processes involve a neutral third party who helps facilitate a solution. Fourthly, explore legal options. If all other efforts fail, you may need to pursue legal action against the homeowner. File a lawsuit for breach of contract and seek damages for unpaid invoices. Fifthly, protect your business reputation. Document all communications with the prime and homeowner. Contact your insurance company to report the incident. Consider leaving negative reviews on construction forums or social media platforms to warn others about the prime's behavior. Always get a signed contract in place before starting work. Request partial payments as work progresses to reduce financial risk. Monitor the progress of the project and be aware of any potential issues that could delay payment. Seek legal advice promptly if you encounter any problems with payment or liens. Remember that California has strict lien laws, so it's essential to act quickly to protect your rights. Lien laws are designed to protect contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, and laborers who provide labor, services, or materials to improve private property. These laws give them the right to file a mechanics lien against the property if they are not paid for their work or materials. A mechanics lien is a legal claim against the property that can be used to force the property owner to pay the debt. The specific requirements for filing a mechanics lien vary from state to state, but generally, the claimant must provide a preliminary notice to the property owner within a certain time frame after beginning work or providing materials. This notice informs the owner that the claimant has the right to file a lien if they are not paid. The claimant must then file a lien claim with the county recorder's office within a certain time frame after completing the work or providing the materials. The lien claim must include a description of the work or materials provided, the amount owed, and the property's address. Once the lien claim is filed, the claimant may need to file a lawsuit to enforce the lien. The lawsuit must be filed within a certain time frame after the lien claim is filed. If the claimant wins the lawsuit, the court can order the property to be sold to satisfy the debt. It is important to note that mechanics lien laws are complex, and it is essential to consult with an attorney to ensure that you comply with all the requirements. Preliminary notice requirements in many states, subcontractors and suppliers must provide a preliminary notice to the property owner within a specific time frame after beginning work or providing materials. This notice informs the owner that the claimant has the right to file a lien if they are not paid. The specific requirements for preliminary notices vary from state to state, but generally, the notice must include the following information: the name and address of the claimant, the name and address of the property owner, a description of the work or materials provided, the amount owed, and a statement that the claimant has the right to file a lien if they are not paid. The preliminary notice must be served on the property owner in a specific manner, such as by certified mail or personal service. Failure to provide a preliminary notice within the required time frame can result in the loss of lien rights. Lien claim requirements. The lien claim is a legal document that is filed with the county recorder's office. A lien claim must include the following information: the name and address of the claimant, the name and address of the property owner, a description of the work or materials provided, the amount owed, the property's address, and a statement that the claimant is claiming a lien against the property. The lien claim must be signed and notarized. The lien claim must be filed within a specific time frame after completing the work or providing the materials. The time frame varies from state to state, but it is typically between 30 and 120 days. Lawsuit to enforce lien. After the lien claim is filed, the claimant may need to file a lawsuit to enforce the lien. The lawsuit must be filed within a specific time frame after the lien claim is filed. The time frame varies from state to state, but it is typically between 6 months and 1 year. In a lawsuit, the claimant must prove that they provided labor, services, or materials to improve the property, that they were not paid for their work or materials, and that they complied with all the requirements of the mechanic's lien law. If the claimant wins the lawsuit, the court can order the property to be sold to satisfy the debt. Defenses to mechanic's liens. Property owners may have several defenses to a mechanic's lien claim. Some common defenses include the claimant did not provide labor, services, or materials to improve the property. The claimant was paid for their work or materials. The claimant did not comply with all the requirements of the mechanic's lien law. The claimant waived their right to file a lien. It is important to consult with an attorney if you are facing a mechanic's lien claim. An attorney can help you understand your rights and defenses. Tips for avoiding mechanic's liens. Property owners can take several steps to avoid mechanic's lien. These steps include hiring reputable contractors and suppliers, getting a written contract that clearly defines the scope of work, the payment terms, and the lien rights, making sure that all contractors and suppliers are properly licensed and insured, getting lien waivers from all contractors and suppliers before making payment, monitoring the progress of the work and making sure that it is being done properly, making prompt payments to contractors and suppliers. If you're a contractor or supplier, you can take steps to protect your lien rights. These steps include providing preliminary notices to the property owner, filing lien claims within the required time frame, filing lawsuits to enforce liens when necessary, keeping accurate records of all work performed and materials provided, consulting with an attorney to ensure that you are complying with all the requirements of the mechanic's lien law. The construction industry is a complex and multifaceted sector, with various participants contributing to the creation and maintenance of the built environment. Among these participants, subcontractors play a crucial role, providing specialized services and expertise to general contractors on construction projects. However, the payment process in the construction industry can be intricate and often poses challenges for subcontractors, leading to disputes and financial uncertainties. Subcontractors often face the risk of non-payment for their completed work, which can have significant financial implications for their businesses. This can occur due to various reasons, such as the general contractor's financial difficulties, disputes over the quality of work, or disagreements over contract terms. When a subcontractor is not paid, they have several legal and practical options to pursue in order to recover their dues. One of the primary legal mechanisms available to subcontractors is the mechanic's lien. A mechanic's lien is a security interest in the property being improved, which allows the subcontractor to claim a right to the property to the extent of the value of their services or materials provided. Filing a mechanic's lien can be a powerful tool for subcontractors to secure their payment, as it places a cloud on the property's title and can prevent the owner from selling or refinancing the property until the lien is resolved. However, the process of filing a mechanic's lien can be complex and time-sensitive, requiring strict adherence to statutory requirements. Subcontractors must carefully comply with deadlines for providing preliminary notices, filing the lien claim, and initiating a lawsuit to enforce the lien. Failure to meet these deadlines can result in the loss of lien rights. In addition to filing a mechanic's lien, subcontractors can also pursue other legal remedies, such as breach of contract claims and claims for unjust enrichment. A breach of contract claim arises when the general contractor fails to fulfill their obligations under the subcontract agreement, such as making timely payments for completed work. A claim for unjust enrichment can be pursued when the property owner has benefited from the subcontractor's services or materials without paying for them. Beyond legal remedies, subcontractors can also explore alternative dispute resolution methods such as mediation and arbitration to resolve payment disputes. Mediation involves a neutral third party who helps facilitate a settlement between the parties, while arbitration involves a neutral third party who makes a binding decision on the dispute. These methods can be less costly and time-consuming than litigation and can often lead to a mutually acceptable resolution. In addition to pursuing legal and alternative dispute resolution options, subcontractors can also take proactive steps to mitigate the risk of non-payment. These steps include carefully reviewing the terms of the subcontract agreement, conducting due diligence on the general contractor's financial stability, and maintaining accurate records of work performed and materials provided. Subcontractors should also consider obtaining payment bonds, which provide a guarantee that they will be paid for their work, even if the general contractor defaults. Effective communication and documentation are essential throughout the construction project. Subcontractors should maintain clear and open communication with the general contractor, promptly addressing any concerns or issues that may arise. They should also meticulously document all aspects of their work, including daily logs, photographs, and invoices to support their claims for payment. When facing non-payment, subcontractors should seek legal advice from an experienced construction attorney. An attorney can assess the specific circumstances of the case, advise on the best course of action, and represent the subcontractor in negotiations, mediation, arbitration, or litigation. Non-payment can have a significant impact on a subcontractor's business, affecting their cash flow, profitability, and reputation. It is crucial for subcontractors to understand their rights and options and to take proactive steps to protect their financial interests. By carefully managing their contracts, maintaining clear communication, and pursuing legal remedies when necessary, subcontractors can navigate the challenges of the construction industry and ensure that they are fairly compensated for their work. Furthermore, the construction industry should promote fair payment practices and transparency to foster a more equitable environment for all participants. General contractors should strive to make timely payments to subcontractors, and property owners should ensure that funds are available to cover the costs of construction. By working together, all stakeholders in the construction industry can contribute to a more sustainable and prosperous future. Filing a lawsuit for breach of contract is a legal avenue available to a subcontractor when the general contractor fails to fulfill the terms of their agreement, specifically regarding payment for completed work. To successfully pursue a breach of contract claim, the subcontractor must establish several key elements. Firstly, there must be a valid and enforceable contract between the subcontractor and the general contractor. This contract should clearly define the scope of work, payment terms, and other essential obligations of each party. Secondly, the subcontractor must demonstrate that they have fully performed their obligations under the contract. This means that they have completed the work as agreed upon and met the required quality standards. Thirdly, the subcontractor must prove that the general contractor breached the contract by failing to make timely payments as stipulated in the agreement. This breach can be established through evidence such as invoices, payment records, and correspondence between the parties. Fourthly, the subcontractor must demonstrate that they have suffered damages as a result of the general contractor's breach. These damages can include unpaid invoices, lost profits, and other expenses incurred due to the non-payment. Once the subcontractor has established these elements, they can file a lawsuit against the general contractor seeking damages for breach of contract. The lawsuit will typically involve a process of discovery, where both parties exchange information and evidence, followed by a trial, where the court will determine whether the general contractor breached the contract and the amount of damages owed to the subcontractor. In addition to pursuing a breach of contract claim, subcontractors may also have other legal options available, such as claims for unjust enrichment or quantum merit. An unjust enrichment claim arises when the general contractor or property owner has benefited from the subcontractor's services or materials without paying for them. A quantum merit claim arises when there is no express contract between the parties, but the subcontractor has provided services or materials for which they should be fairly compensated. It is important for subcontractors to consult with an experienced construction attorney to assess their legal options and determine the best course of action. An attorney can help the subcontractor navigate the complexities of construction law and represent their interests in negotiations, mediation, arbitration, or litigation. To mitigate the risk of non-payment and potential breach of contract claims, subcontractors should take proactive steps to protect their financial interests. These steps include carefully reviewing the terms of the subcontract agreement, conducting due diligence on the general contractor's financial stability, and maintaining accurate records of work performed and materials provided. Subcontractors should also consider obtaining payment bonds, which provide a guarantee that they will be paid for their work, even if the general contractor defaults. Effective communication and documentation are essential throughout the construction project. Subcontractors should maintain clear and open communication with the general contractor, promptly addressing any concerns or issues that may arise. They should also meticulously document all aspects of their work, including daily logs, photographs, and invoices to support their claims for payment. By taking these proactive steps and seeking legal advice when necessary, subcontractors can minimize the risk of non-payment and protect their financial well-being.